Morning, guys. Welcome to Coffee Chat. Wow, it is just such a beautiful morning out here. No rain this morning, but the smell is just really fresh and clean. And just take a look at all the colors in here with the trees and everything like that. Now, I would imagine that these leaves are all going to be falling off right quick here, but we do have some evergreens back in here that's going to keep it nice and green back there for us, and it'll be really a lovely scene no matter what, I imagine. Well, hey, I hope everybody who celebrated Thanksgiving had a good Thanksgiving. We had a great Thanksgiving. I had my brother and his wife over, and Judy had her brother over, and of course we had one of our children, staying with us. And we have a whole flock of kids, and, unfortunately, a lot of them live really far from us, and so we don't get to see them as much as we like. And, but when you have even one around, it makes a big difference. I'm sure those of us that are parents of grown kids can kind of relate to that one. And it was really, really nice. We had a great Thanksgiving. Now, something else from the channel perspective. So a couple coffee chats back, I had asked, hey, let's name our little avatar. And boy, did you guys show up fantastic. I got some really great names and a few of them that I like. And one guy came out and with Rippy. And you know what? That was a good contender. I like that one. But I can't tell you. I'd say probably at least half a dozen, if not, more than that, folks came out and said, well, why not call him Digi or Digit or this or that or whatever? And so I thought, you know what? With all the folks that the majority coming out like that, and people were spelling it differently. Some were spelling it D-I-D-G-I-E or just D-I, G-I, or, just all kinds of different ways of spelling it. So, you know what? I thought that's what we're going to call our little avatar. He's going to be called Digi. And you know what we'll do? We'll just call him like D-I-G-I, make it easy, Digi. So there you go. I thought that was a sweet little cute name. And so now, from now on, that's what his name's going to be. So thank you for all your support in naming him, because I didn't have a name for him, and I thought, hey, why not? Now we got to decide if we're going to make a little animated GIF out of him and give him a voice, Digi, what do you think? Who knows? I don't know. I'm just teasing there. But needless to say, it has been great just having you guys on this channel. Wow, what amazing, beautiful amount of support that you guys showed with the videos that we put out yesterday and the coffee chat especially. Thank you so much. That really moved me in my spirit. I really, really just loved all the comments and hearing about other people's experience and how they've learned to grow in life over adversity. Just tremendous. And I'm telling you what, guys, you are a really fantastic community of people. Just beautiful. I've watched all kinds of other channels and things like that, and the way in which you guys really reach out and touch one another and speak and communicate is really amazing. And I'm not saying that to flatter you. I'm saying that to commend you. It is, I'm just really amazed, and I appreciate it so very much, and I'm proud to be a part of this community. And that's right, guys, it's not my community, it's in our community, and I'm a part of it, and you're a part of it, and it's really, really, in my mind, a very beautiful and exciting thing, that is for sure. Well, guys, now getting into the nitty gritty, I read 2 articles today that are really something. So the first article that I read had to do with how this one basic, I guess he's kind of like a, what do they call those folks that, track, social change in society and things like that. I'm not quite sure. Is that I forget the name of that type of scientist, but needless to say, so maybe a sociologist, maybe that's it. Anyway, this guy is coming on and he's saying, hey, look, this whole FTX deal and the way everything has gone down and whatever, well, it's going to lead to some major regulations, but those regulations are going to have an effect on us on a societal level in this way, because he believes it's going to accelerate the implementation of central bank digital currencies and having them tied to social credit system type behavior, in the marketplace. And I'm thinking, my word, talk about, this stuff is just so strategic. And I also found out just by listening to an article someone else did that I guess SBF is coming up from the Bahamas to go to New York and be a speaker at some sort of a conference or convention. And I thought this is just absolutely insane when you consider the amount of fraud that was going on and the amount of loss that the average investor went out and suffered. I mean, it is seriously crazy. And apparently, I guess some of the big time investors, even after the insolvency event, were able to utilize some back doors in the system to get their assets out before a trustee came in and took over the whole deal. I'm telling you, I just have never heard of a story. And look, some of us older guys have been around for a good enough while to see some real scandalous crap take place. Well, I'll tell you, this one is taking the cake. I mean, this blows Bernie Madoff way away. And the 2008 deal and all that went on with the whole, subprime mortgage crap, this SBF thing, it's, tentacles just seem to filter into so many areas that it's truly mind-boggling. And I think, what might end up happening here, apparently, the ex-CEO of Enron has taken over for SBF as the CEO of FTX. And he's coming out and saying, hey, look, FTX has a lot of entities out there that have some great solvency and are actually making money. So what they're trying to do now, and in a way, guys, I genuinely hope they do it. But what they're trying to do is to kickstart FTX with a restructuring plan and, get some billions of invest in there, kind of make all these retail investors whole. And I sure hope that does happen for them. But I'll tell you what, my trust in that organization is out the door. There's just no way. And I think they might try to give it back life again, put the paddles on it, boof, or something, so that number one, SBF can get off the hook, because I think that there's a lot of big time people behind the scenes that really wanted this whole thing going down, and they're going to protect them. And secondly, I think it's because they want to have this whole transition. This has been strategic from the start to push us into the institutional rails where somebody else actually brokers these purchases on our behalf, custodies our assets, and on and on. And then they're going to bring this thing in here, and it's going to look, okay, they're okay. Because I'll tell you what, remember this, SBF had an unnatural platform towards, cryptocurrency regulation that somebody of his age, look, he started this whole thing when he was only 28 years old. The guy's 30 years old right now. And here he was sitting before Congress talking about all these major crypto regulations that need to come into play and da-da-da-da-da. And his style of crypto regulations were extremely over the top and really would have made, if they all came into place, really would have taken the pleasure and the joy and the liberty right out of this space for us. So, hey, we all want regulation, but we want regulations that are balanced, regulations that actually stimulate innovation and stimulate this marketplace, not crush it. Well, anyway, it's interesting to me that guy had that kind of a platform, and I think they want to continue on with that, and they're going to come out with this narrative of, this is why we need it, all that happened here with FTX, and and the level of competence, and that's why the institutions that have been used to this whole style of marketplace, that we need to come in and take custody of this whole space, because you need folks that have our level of expertise, and on and on and on, and that's what I think is going to happen. Now, having said that, boy, what a little bit of a rant there, eh? Anyway, I read another article, and this one comes as no surprise to all of us, I'm sure. But India has now launched their pilot program for the digital rupee. And get this, guys. So they're coming out in this article saying, it's 12-week pilot with all these major banks, these major big commercial banks in India. And it reminds me, just look a few days back, and we saw Japan doing the same thing. And So in this article, it's saying, oh, it's for 12 weeks. Well, 12 weeks, and in the last article, it was 3 months, and what the next one's going to come out 90 days. It's all the same thing, guys. Interesting to me how all these pilot projects have to take, 3 months. How come you don't see one that's coming out for 60 days or 30 days or 2 weeks or whatever? I really believe that what we're seeing here, guys, is a timeline being followed, an agenda being followed right to the letter. And hey, remember this, India is no small fry. I mean, a lot of times we think of India as being that is one of the wealthiest countries in the world. And in fact, it's one of the biggest importers of gold globally. And get this, there is well over 1 billion citizens living in India. So this is a major part of the global population, and they are adopting central bank digital currency. What do you think? Do you think that the West isn't going to follow suit right quick? You know they are, guys. This is going to happen at light speed, and probably before the end of 2024, the entire world is going to be on central bank digital currencies. Now, the question is, how are they going to engineer that? Because even in India, they're looking at this whole tying the central bank digital currency to this whole social credit thing. Now, this whole social credit score thing has really just come up in a big way in the last 6 months in the discussion. But boy, has it taken center stage. And I'm telling you guys, I've said this time and time again. If you want to have any influence whatsoever in how your central bank digital currency gets tied up in some sort of a social credit system, which is not like your credit score, by the way. Let's clarify that. This is talking about your spending behavior, your social media behavior, where you shop, where you eat, what you eat, on and on and on. This is a big, big deal. And you're going to be given a score determined on whether or not you fit their principles and agenda. It has nothing to do with whether you pay your bills on time and something that everybody can kind of get on board with. No, this is about individual behavior, thoughts, thinking, and on and on. So if you're on social media and you don't have the right opinion, well, you lose a few points, right? And if you're on, you go to the grocery store and you buy too many bags of chips, well, hey, you might lose a few points. Now, what are those points tied to? Because we know with a credit score, it's tied to your ability to go out there and borrow because, hey, people are looking at your credit score and making a risk decision based on that, right? Whether you're a good risk or not. Well, you don't have a social credit system when there's no rewards and there's no consequences. So that's another issue on this whole subject. What kind of rewards and consequences are we talking about? Well, in China, the consequence is you might not be able to even take the city bus, right? Or they come in and say, nope, you can't have a bicycle to get around. You're on your own 2 feet. That'll teach you. And on and on and on. And it's sheer and utter totalitarian manipulation if we go down that way. We cannot sit back and be silent. At least that's how I'm feeling about it. And it is kind of a scary proposition when you think about it, how they want to initiate this thing on a global level. And here we are sitting in these countries that are supposed to be free, right? Free moral agency and the ability to think and make decisions for ourselves. Well, I'll tell you what, it seems like those days they are trying to literally wipe them away and have a behavioral reward and consequence system tied to your currency, which could be shut off at will. If we sit back and say nothing, I think that's exactly where this is going to go, even in these countries like we have here with the United States and Canada and Australia and New Zealand and the greater Commonwealth, of course, the UK, and on and on and on. Countries that literally we've sent men to fight and die so that we could have this kind of liberty, and it's being traded in. You hear that, we're going out with a whimper and not a bang. And that's what it seems like. It seems like they're just ushering into this system, and most of our populations are just acquiescing to it without any pushback whatsoever. And it is a tragedy to watch and see. And I'm telling you what, guys, nothing good comes out of that. Nothing good comes. Anything that's worth having has been worth fighting for, right? There's that old saying, and I love it because here I am in Texas, and I think it originated here. It's a great saying. You got to stand for something, or you'll fall for anything. That's kind of how I feel about it. Now, guys, hey, look, I hope you have a great rest of your day and enjoy it. It is going to be an amazing day. And on top of that, guys, we have the weekend to look forward to. Thank goodness it is a Friday. And for us, that means that, hey, we don't do anything on the weekend because the weekend is for friends and family. And I sure hope during this weekend, you get to spend some time with yours. Now, we will have a video later on today, and it is going to be a good one. And so until then, guys, I hope you have an amazing day, and we'll catch you later. Take care.